Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we are going to be exploring what's happening in the collective energy field. So we will be channeling into any people, situations, details, messages that want to come through the reading. As I always say, these readings are really meant to be intuitive exercises. So at the end of the day, it's really your intuition that is the compass of your life experience. So please only take the messages that do resonate with you in a personal and intuitive way, and leave whatever doesn't necessarily connect for you in that way. Today is one of those readings where I feel like quantum time lately has been moving differently than physical time. That's kind of the best way that I can describe it. Now, of course, from some perspective, time doesn't really exist at the quantum level. But what I've been feeling is that even just in the past few days since our last reading on Wednesday, it's almost like these quantum leaps have been taking place in consciousness. You may feel as though you're shifting realities very quickly, and as though things feel like they're moving really fast energetically or emotionally, or you just have this sense of some kind of process speeding up within you in your energy field. Even if in the physical world, things look very similar or even stagnant, things may not necessarily look like physically they're moving forward very fast, or maybe for you they are. But what I'm getting is that there is this almost like speeding up happening in a quantum sense. So if that's something that you've experienced, then I would love to hear from you in the comments under this video. And of course, just in a general sense, I really love the sense of community that we build through the comment sections underneath these videos. So I would love to hear from you if you have anything that you'd like to share, either with me or just with the community, any messages, any inspiring thoughts, or anything about your journey. So I'm going to get started today by shuffling the energy oracle cards. But while I'm shuffling, I also want to share one download that I was receiving throughout the day today. And this download has been coming up in different forms recently, but it's never struck me as clearly as it did today. And the download is that at this phase on your spiritual journey, the healing isn't happening through the thinking or through the analyzing, through the figuring things out in the mental realm of your consciousness. Yes, that period of time served its purpose, but the message coming through for a certain collective here is that your true healing at this time, I'm hearing it's happening through your living. It's happening through you letting yourself live in freedom, live in joy, explore the world, connect with yourself, with your physical body. Maybe that means getting out and moving in nature, or letting yourself explore around the world or explore new connections. That concept of exploration is coming up really strongly here, allowing yourself to be intuitively guided to the places, spaces, and connections that are, I'm hearing, forms of energetic activation. And my guides are actually coming through to say that when I refer to this as healing, I'm talking about a quantum level healing. This isn't something we are doing in a linear fashion. I'm getting so many chills right now as I'm channeling into this. But this isn't something we're healing at the level of the mind. And I'm sure we'll get more into this. This is such a quantum topic. And as you guys know, sometimes it's difficult to find the physical words to describe these really high level energetic dynamics. So I'll do the best I can here. But I'm definitely picking up on a person who has spent a long time in a hermit mode, maybe even off and on your entire lifetime from when you were a child. You've spent a lot of time in isolations, emotionally or physically, where you felt cut off from people, things, maybe just from society generally. You felt so different. I'm getting the word outcast. And what I'm getting very strongly is that when you were born on planet Earth with your spirit, you were born knowing that most of the world wasn't going to be ready for you yet, especially in your early childhood, because you were born prior to a lot of more recent collective awakenings. And it's almost like you incarnated knowing as a soul. Now, of course, we have soul amnesia. So you most likely didn't consciously remember these intentions from a young age, although you're most likely remembering them now as you've been progressing through your awakenings. And yes, I'm hearing awakenings multiple for this group. It's like this constant peeling back of the layers with every awakening that you go through, getting closer to that core soul frequency. But anyway, what I'm getting is that you knew on a soul level the world wouldn't quite be ready for you. And I'm getting that this has actually been an experience your whole life, feeling almost just a little too early for something. It reminds me of genius inventors or people who created incredible things that people thought were crazy because they were ahead of their time. So it's like many geniuses of ancient times were labeled as crazy by a society that wasn't ready for them because they were so ahead of their time. And I feel this is something related to your energy where you've always held a frequency that the world needed and was almost like on the cusp of your entire life, but you've always felt almost a little bit too early for what people are ready for. It's like you grasp things. I'm hearing you receive the downloads first, because from some perspective, just like you and I sitting here or whatever you're doing listening to this reading are co-creating this reading energetically. We're sharing our energy to make this reading possible. We're doing that as a collective. But equally, that is how we are as a global collective. Every single person of the billions of people on planet Earth right now, we are globally co-creating the future of humankind here on Earth and the future of planet Earth as a collective here. And so what I'm picking up is that everyone on the planet has the ability to receive these spiritual downloads and messages to progress forward in positive ways when it comes to the trajectory of our collective humankind of the planet. However, most people are so layered with negativity that gets projected onto them or ingrained into them or taught to them or absorbed somehow that they, in a sense, become a little bit incapable of hearing those kinds of forms of natural higher guidance. And what I'm picking up is that you came in very clear as a soul. You've always had this pure-hearted quality about you. And in fact, many people have noticed this about you. And this may have even been labeled naivety, but this pure-heartedness people would sense that sometimes they would call an innocence or a naivety. It actually was them sensing the fact that your energetic field has always been very open. And as a result of this, I'm hearing you've always been close to source. You've always been almost closer to the spiritual realm than the human realm, meaning sometimes you've been so spiritually attuned that it can be distracting to the physical daily tasks and day-to-day things that you're expected to do as a human. And of course, this comes with a myriad of other things, because when you are someone who lives with a very open energy and you're very close to source as a result of that, it can be very difficult to fit yourself into those boxes. And that can be labeled a whole myriad of ways. In fact, I'm picking up that maybe you've been given labels, or you've struggled with different things related to the mind, related to mental health or emotional well-being. Now, of course, I'm not a doctor, therapist, or medical professional, so I always recommend seeing a doctor for any potential symptoms or things that you may have going on physically or mentally. But I do feel that there's been this struggle within you to acclimate to the human realm, but it's not really, I'm hearing it's not really a struggle. From a spiritual perspective, you were not meant to acclimate. I'm hearing you weren't meant to acclimate to a broken world. You were meant to live closer to source, to embody a very different kind of energy. And in doing so, to play this really powerful role in actually transforming the trajectory of humankind, of the collective planetary timeline. Now, I know that this sounds really big, but that's because it is really big. Your mission here as a soul is huge. And I feel that just by me speaking these words, for someone listening, this is activating a soul remembrance within you, because you've always known that this is why you've stood out. This is why you've struggled to acclimate, because you were never meant to. However, this sensation of always being early has often left you feeling like you're delayed or stagnant or in a rut. That's the ironic thing here. I'm getting that very often you've just been ahead of your time. So it's almost like I keep seeing the image of someone arriving early to a party and thinking that they have the location wrong, or that maybe there isn't even a party happening because they're there so early in a room that feels empty. But ultimately, people start coming in and the room starts filling up. And I feel like the message coming through here is to hold the faith, because I feel that there are many things right now in your life that you are still early to, that I have to get back to this pure heartedness about you to make sense of the download that's coming. But when I was talking about that pure heartedness that people notice in you, actually indicating that your energy field is really open, what I was going to say is, yes, everyone is equally able to access source energy, to receive downloads. However, you are someone who is more open energetically, so you actually often receive these downloads long before others. So you receive ideas, inspiration, thought forms, almost like as I'm seeing like a group of people that tests something early, like test a software or a computer program before other people, beta testing. That's what I'm looking for. It's almost like you are a beta tester for these downloads and these upgrades energetically before the collective receives them. Not because people don't have equal access to them, but for most people, it takes them longer to actually consciously process these updates, because they're more closed off energetically. And again, your energy is very open. And so what I'm getting is that you often are upgraded energetically before others and meant to be a natural born leader. You are meant to be someone who is setting the tone globally, who is moving the collective forward by standing confident in a kind of frequency or a kind of knowledge that you just innately feel within your soul that other people may not yet have come into a full conscious awareness of. So anyway, that was kind of the groundwork I was trying to get to. But what I'm getting is that there are many things right now in your life that you felt intuitively guided into, that you have that deep soul knowing about. But there may be that sense of, am I crazy or am I genius in a way? Like, am I onto something here, or is this idea just crazy? And that, if you felt that way about certain ideas, thoughts, pathways that you've wanted to take in your life, that you felt so pulled to intuitively, I strongly feel that sense of being delayed is really just you picking up on a collective projection that they may be sending to you in their unconsciousness, because they aren't yet fully aware of what you're onto, for lack of better wording. They're not yet fully consciously aware of how you're operating, but they will be, because eventually those same downloads, those same pieces of information will reach them. It just takes time. But I feel that this message is coming through because you are someone who's, I'm hearing, get comfortable with being early. You're not late. You're not delayed. You're actually early. But the ironic thing is, because of these artificial timing constraints of society, very often when you're early by spiritual standards, other people will tell you that you're late or that you waited too long or that your timing is wrong. Because I get that for many of you, you may be doing things on a very unconventional timeline by society's standards. So this could be related to when you're doing things in terms of your human earth age, which of course really is irrelevant because we're not our age, we are our energy. But I feel that if this is the case, that you're doing things on a different timing than people tend to expect, this in itself is part of your mission as well, because you are meant to be showing to others what is possible. You are, through living in your own freedom, showing the pathway for freedom to other people as well. For some reason, I'm seeing like a patchwork quilt and someone stitching. So maybe someone stitches here, but I'm also thinking of how I'm thinking about the Underground Railroad in the United States and how sometimes freed slaves would lead other slaves to freedom. And I remember learning in school that there was something about a quilt that was actually like a secret map. This is really interesting. It's almost like you are stitching a secret map that others can follow to their own freedom. But I'm hearing, just like that quilt, it might just look like a quilt to someone who doesn't understand the symbolism. I feel that you may not be understood or be miscategorized or mischaracterized by people who don't understand your frequency or your symbolism in a sense. It's like you will only be heard. You will only be really perceived in the correct light or understood fully by people who are seeking their own freedom on some level. But to those individuals, the message will come through loud and clear. That's what I'm getting really strongly here. So I know we're a little bit into the reading, but I really wanted to share those downloads. I hope that reached whoever needed to hear it. I feel like I'm speaking to a very specific collective here. But let's finally go ahead and pull some cards here. I'm also going to take a quick sip of my coffee. Okay, so what can I channel for our beautiful collective here on YouTube? So first of all, I'm getting that because this is one of my collective readings that is meant to share many different messages and pieces of information for the collective, as opposed to the mini readings I often do between these Monday, Wednesday, Friday reading videos that are meant to be kind of more mini threads of energy coming through. So because of that, because of this being collective, I feel that we're actually going to pick up on many different kinds of messages and threads of energy here at the end. So if you do want to go more in depth and get more of a personal reading, so to speak, I would really recommend the extended version of this reading if this has been connecting for you. And I will leave links to the extended in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. It will be available on both YouTube memberships and on Patreon as well. So with rest and rejuvenation and yin yang, the first message that I heard when I flipped over these cards is relaxing and resting brings everything into balance. So this could be quite literally that simple for someone. Maybe this is a reminder to pause, to allow yourself to rest and refresh in order to bring something into balance in your life, or maybe just your general energetic state or your mental state or something of that nature. But I do feel that for some of you, I'm hearing this relates to what you're attracting into your life. And I am hearing that what you attract from this state of peace, ease, and effortlessness is what is truly aligned for you. And for some of you, I do feel that this specifically does connect with relationships and community, or something about how people perceive you or connect with you. And it's almost like the message coming through is when you are relaxed and in that state of ease, you are vibrating at a naturally high vibration, but a peaceful one as well, that is naturally connecting you with people who are on a similar frequency and therefore able to really perceive you and appreciate you in that state of ease, in that state of effortlessness. I feel like there's some kind of message here. For some reason, I saw like a mail delivery person delivering a letter or mail or something like that. This could be literal, but this also could be symbolic. Like maybe there's someone's soul who's put a letter in the mail for you, metaphorically speaking, where they have decided to communicate with you. Maybe this is on a soul level, like someone you've not even met yet, but their soul has decided that they want to reach out to you or connect with you, and they reach you through this state of ease or effortlessness. For others of you, I mean, this could really be anything here, so take that however it connects. But what I'm getting very strongly is this message around recognizing that the connections that are truly aligned with you will not need to be pursued or actively chased or forced. It's kind of this generalized message that, of course, if you're listening to this, I feel we all know this on some level, but it's almost just like a reminder of that you always meet the souls that you are meant to connect with in just the right way and in just the right timing. And that you truly can't lose the ones who are meant for you. And that when someone truly is meant for you and aligned with you, they will always, I'm hearing, return back into your orbit. Even if at times they seem distant or disconnected from you, as you maintain that state of ease and peace within yourself, nothing truly meant for you, nothing truly harmonious for you is ever going to pass you by. Now, I'm hearing that for some of you, this may not even be related to relationships or connections. This also could be related to your dreams, your visions. I feel there's a very, very strong message coming through, and it's kind of two-sided because there's a side of this that almost feels like a hard pill to swallow kind of thing, but there's another side that's so soft and gentle, and it feels like an exhale. It feels like a sigh of relief, like a deep confidence and knowing. So the first side, maybe the point that feels a bit like a hard pill to swallow, is the message that sometimes we are divinely protected from people, things, and situations that we think we want, but that would actually be disharmonious to our personal core frequency or our highest frequency, the highest timeline that we are aligned with. It's almost like your path right now is being so protected and so preserved. And if a situation feels harsh or forced or like you're overthinking it, trying to push it into place, wondering why it's not working out, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. In fact, very likely it's the opposite. You've come into such a deep knowing and a confidence of who you are. And you do have that pure-hearted, open kind of energetic field that can be so easily influenced by people that you surround yourself with or situations you're around really regularly, that at times you will be actively protected from long-term situations or environments or people who can't meet you on that frequency, to avoid pulling you into kind of alternate timelines that are filled with lessons that you've already graduated from. The only path forward is your own expansion. Interesting messages coming through here. But the other side of this, and the beautiful side, is there seem to be so many incredible manifestations lined up for you on this pathway as you stay aligned with your highest vibrational version of self. And these manifestations aren't just literal things or objects, status, money, although if those are things that you desire, I see those things as part of these manifestations coming in. But what I'm talking about here, and actually what I feel is going to be the most fulfilling for you, are the manifestations in the form of people who are deeply connected with you, who want to support you, who fully see you, who have the ability to meet you at your level in terms of frequency and energy. And it seems like the way you naturally continue to align with all of these manifestations, including those forms of community, including everything that is what you desire, but also in perfect timing and harmony with your unfolding highest vibrational timeline. The way you stay connected with that pathway seems to be by maintaining this state of ease and peace within yourself. So for some reason, this is kind of circling me back to our starting point where we talked about how your healing right now is happening through, I'm hearing embodiment, through your living of your life, this living embodiment of this higher frequency that you've learned to cultivate within yourself. And I am hearing as well that life is calling you to explore in some kind of way, or calling you into some kind of adventure. And at times, your mind may label these things as reckless or try to overanalyze them or overthink them. And this is the interesting thing. I'm getting that more and more you're being asked to trust in the frequency and to trust in the sense of alignment that you have, or lack of alignment that you have with people, things, and circumstances, even if it doesn't necessarily have a logical, concrete backing in the moment. This is you really exercising that psychic muscle. I'm hearing like feeling your way in the dark, but you're not blind. You're seeing with your third eye. Wow, that felt really powerful for someone. Because what I'm getting very strongly is that you are someone who operates in a way most people do not understand. You operate in accordance with frequency and energy. So you quite literally listen to the energy of people and situations. I'm hearing the heartbeat beneath them. Like you can sense the heartbeat metaphorically of things, the heart of things, or whether it has heart. You can sense, it's almost, I'm hearing that game like hot or colder, where you're moving towards a person or an object and they're telling you whether you're hotter or colder. And it's almost like you can sense the people that have warm energy, even if you can't necessarily put a literal logic to it. And in fact, there may be certain people or things or situations that look perfect on paper, but have a cold or harsh energy to them that you can't quite put your finger on, or you can't quite understand logically. And in the opposite manner, there can be people or things that you feel this warmth around, that feel kind of like a warm embrace, but you can't really understand why. Or maybe other people around you don't really understand why you're drawn to these things, people, or situations. You just feel the warmth there. And I'm hearing go where it's warm. Now, for some of you, maybe this is literal. Maybe you're doing a trip with somewhere that has warm weather or sunshine or something of that nature. But I'm getting that for many of you, you're going where it's warm emotionally, where you feel your nervous system. I'm hearing like your body, your nervous system picks up on energy long before your mind can really understand it. And you're being asked to trust the sense of literal physical bodily safety and comfort, and that nervous system relaxation that you feel around certain people, things, activities, ideas, environments, to trust that in order to take these quantum leaps, because this trusting of your intuition at all levels and layers over your mind or your kind of sense of logic, which is often just projections that we've picked up from society. I'm hearing false standards. I don't know why that's coming up. Maybe you've had some kind of checklist about something, or like standards that you've picked up about how something is supposed to look. Maybe it's your own appearance or how you feel you're supposed to look. Maybe it's an opportunity or a place or your home or a connection. But I feel like there's like these standards, like a checklist of things that you've had, and yet what you're noticing is that sometimes a situation that doesn't necessarily meet that checklist can bring an energy that is so much deeper and more fulfilling for you and more harmonious with you than anything you could have defined on that list. And equally, you found that something or someone can meet those literal qualifications, and yet something about it can still feel hollow. And I'm hearing this is because you are someone who's truly soul led. You are led by your soul. You follow the energy, the frequency of things, people, and situations, rather than letting your mind do the bidding. And that's also how you're able to move forward in such an aligned, harmonious, intuitive way that quite literally is going to look like magic to the people around you. It's because you are someone who isn't afraid to trust the heart beneath the appearance of things. Whether that's, again, a literal person, a place, an environment, or whatever that is for you personally. So today's reading has been incredibly deep and very unique. Thank you for being a co-creator here on the channel. If you do want to keep having this conversation with me, then I would love to see you on the extended version of the reading. If not, and you're stopping off here, then thank you again for tuning in today. I am sending you all so much love. I am wishing you a truly beautiful day and weekend. Hopefully, I will be able to come back on at some point with some mini readings over the weekend. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, so you can get updated whenever I post new energy updates, downloads, or messages that may be relevant to you here on the channel. Otherwise, I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will connect with you here again in Monday's collective reading.